Hello everyone, and welcome to the new and improved cargo pilot tutorial. If you have been on the Discord and seen the announcements, or even if you've just been playing and noticed, the cargo piloting job has changed completely. Very big changes, worthy of a whole new video. So that's what we're doing today. So, as this is a video on cargo piloting which can be done by quite new people, this will be a more in-depth tutorial than some of the more advanced ones, like my trucking ones. So, first things first, you need to go to a job centre. There is one here, there is also one here, and if you are already down at the airport, there is one here. But we're at the main one in the centre, because this is where most people come the first time. So, once we're at this job centre, we need to go onto this orange circle and select cargo pilot. Once we've done that, we can now actually go and get a plane. Now I am level 100 at cargo piloting, so if you've seen in the announcement, the cargo piloting job now pays you based on your level. So we may find, or will find, that what I get paid during this tutorial is not necessarily what you're going to get paid when you first start. That's just something we're going to have to work around, because the update has come in since I'm already 100. I don't actually know how much you're going to earn at the low level. I'm just going to show you exactly what now needs to be done and how to do it, essentially. So we are heading over to Los Santos International in this car that is far too fast. For those of you who don't know, this is the Lamborghini Aventador, and this is available to people. I believe patrons now can access it as well, but I have it by being a nitro booster for the Discord. And it is rapid, as you'll notice. It can easily reach 200, although I'm not going to do that here because that's terrifying. Here we go. So, oh, I don't know what just happened there. Sorry if you saw that mouse pop up for a second. I think something just loaded in the background. Here we are. Now let's go and have a look at the planes first. I believe they haven't changed since my original tutorial, but let's be thorough. So, here we are at the aircraft shop. So, once we're in the aircraft shop, we can see all the different types of planes. We're obviously interested in cargo planes. So, we've got the Mammotus first, then the Cuban, the P3, the Titan, the EMB, the Beluga, the DC-10, and the A350. They are all the same as they were previously. As you can see, they all have different costs, obviously, and different cargo sizes. And obviously they require cargo pilot level, as seen at the bottom, in order to use them. So for this tutorial, we are going full-on basic. Let's see if I actually have this already. I do, good. We're going for the Mammotus. So I have to remember what that's called. Let's go and get in the car and head over to the garage. This is the shop. We now need to go to the garage, which is over there. Don't know why the sat-nav wants me to go all the way back out onto the road. We're just going to head along here and through these maintenance tunnels and get rid of the car. So once we're here, you can see, if you haven't been here before, at these locations you actually get the ability to choose planes and helicopters rather than just cars. And we are looking for the Mammotus. Hopefully it's actually called the Mammotus. There it is. Spawn. Perfect. So we are now in our little biplane. And we can head over to this cargo pilot symbol here. The symbol is still the same, but what we do there now has changed slightly. That's where we're going to be heading. Now, for cargo piloting, you do require a level 9 strength in order to be able to pick up the packages. Or, well, now that's what it used to require. Let's have a look, see if it still requires it. So you can see the options now are quite different. There is the deliver cargo option, so anywhere that, I'll explain that in a moment, but this is where you deliver cargo. You can deliver in different amounts depending on how much strength you have. So for one, you need 25 kilos. So I believe that actually won't require level 9 strength anymore. You should be able to do that with a much lower strength level. In fact, I think you'll be able to do that with level 1. I believe at level 1 you have 30 kilos of storage. I might be wrong there, but I think that's how it works. So, or do you have 10? Oh, this is me. I'm looking like a right noob now, aren't I? It's been so long since I've been that level. It might be 10, so you might need level 3 cargo piloting. Regardless, you need 25 kilos of space. That's the easiest way to remember it. If you can carry 25 kilos, you're good to go. Now, you can see that there are now 2 different locations that's been put here, rather than boxes of food or animals. Because cargo is now a universal thing. It's just cargo. They don't have different types. And you no longer get vouchers from it either. Vouchers are gone. You now just have, as you can see, cargo. And then when we deliver it, you'll see what we get. Now you can see at the bottom there, requires cargo pilot 1 to get 1 of them. Requires cargo pilot 30 to get 2 at a time. And requires cargo pilot level 70 to get 4 at a time. So as you level up, you get sort of quality of life things as well. But we are acting like the complete noob that we are. So we are going to go for the level 1 location Chumash. As you can see, Chiansky requires level 10. We're going to go for Chumash. We're going to get 1 at a time. And a new feature of this server, while my inventory is filling up, we'll go over this. You can see on the left, the first bar is filling up white with inventory space. That's my own personal inventory. But now, if we open the trunk of the plane, you'll notice the trunk of the plane starts filling up on its own. A brilliant new thing that Glitch has added. You can now directly input things into the trunk of the vehicle rather than having to go from your own inventory, which is amazing and probably the best update they've ever done. Especially if you're a trucker, you're really going to appreciate that. But you can see we're now full up of both the inventory and the trunk are now full of cargo. So we are going to Chumash. Chumash is this airport here. I can't actually highlight any further over left than that because it's the edge of the map. But we are going there to that cargo piloting symbol. And let's head out. So, when you're in a plane, 2 very important things. First, you do not take off and land anywhere other than a runway. It seems obvious, people don't do it though, and it annoys everybody and you will get banned. Secondly, you need to use air traffic control. This is done by using the ATC menu, which is opened with either the X button on a controller or with Tab on a keyboard. You'll now see the list of airports that there are. We are at LSIA, so we select that one, and we are going to be taking off from this runway, which is the jet runway. Small planes, there are 2 different types of planes. There are small planes and heavy planes. Small planes are able to use this jet runway, heavy planes are not. So if you're in a little plane that can use a jet runway, please do try and use the jet runway, because it will make life a lot nicer for the big heavy plane players who can only use main or side runways. So we're going to select this runway. We've been cleared. You can see the green showing that it's our runway now, and we can take off. In the bottom right you can see how long we have clearance for. This is a small plane, so we only get 20 seconds of clearance. Bigger, heavier planes will get longer depending on obviously how large they are. But we are now in the air and we can head over to Chumash Airport, and we will drop off our cargo once we reach there. Now this has changed, obviously, if you've done cargo before. If you're brand new to the server, then it doesn't matter what cargo used to be, because this is what you're now doing. But for other people, obviously cargo used to be either crates of food or animals. One gave more XP, one gave more money. You took them to specific places. In a way, that hasn't changed. You still have to go to a specific location based on what you select, but now it will tell you, and it's just cargo. There is no differentiation. You just take the cargo to the location. Right, we are now going to line up for this jet runway again, as we're in a small plane and we can use the jet one. So So we'll sort of, because this is such a small and manoeuvrable plane, we should be able to just sort of fling it in. Obviously, once you start using big jets, you need to be much more careful with what your how you land. But for this one, we are just going to go a bit mad, get down to the right altitude, and then we'll just slam her down onto the ground. Some people prefer realism, but realism is not efficient, so we're just going to slam it for now. With the big jets, realism is much more important, obviously, so that you don't explode on impact. Here we are, we're at the jet runway for Chumash. I set that up a little bit late there, but we'll have plenty of time to land, and the server's quite empty. You usually want to give people quite a bit of notice that you're landing, because you don't want to be fighting for the runway on approach. Now we can just drive straight off the end of this runway onto the taxiway. And then we'll head over, we'll stay on the concrete because that makes life a bit easier. We'll head over to the marker. And now you can see we have this menu come up where we can now deliver the cargo, as was at LSIA. Once again, we have to do it one at a time, so that is what we'll do. So first we'll just let our inventory empty out. And you can see we are earning XP, player level XP, and cargo pilot XP, and strength XP, as it uses all three of those. And I am also earning money per box. We're not going to worry about the money amount, as I said, because I'm level 100. We don't know what that's actually going to be for a level 1. But now that our inventory is empty, we can open the plane's trunk, and once again, it starts automatically using the trunk's inventory rather than us having to move things across, which is glorious. And there we are. So we have now given up our cargo. We've given it to the airport. Now you'll also notice that the stock at the bottom is not going back up quickly, and that is intentional. Busy runways, busy routes like this one, obviously if you're on a server with lots of low level players, this is going to be a very busy route. And you can see the stock has now only just gone back up. So you're going to have to be careful that the stock doesn't run out when you're here. Especially if there's people like me in a big Airbus A350, I can take 50 stock pretty much at a time. And if I'm selling, I'll take even more, because the selling and buying of stock uses the same actual stock amount. So big planes are going to use up the stock a hell of a lot quicker than little planes, and it could be annoying if you have to sit there for ages waiting for the stock to refill, but that is how it is. So it's just something to keep in mind. So now, as we haven't been doing this for very long, we'll do another one. We can reopen Chumash using the M menu, and we can now choose where we want to go next. So as you can see, Zancudo or Post-Op are available for level 1. Just to switch things up a bit, we'll go to Zancudo because Post-Op is right next to Los Santos International. So we'll go to Zancudo, we'll times 1 again, just fill up our inventory, and then we can open up the plane's trunk. Obviously, if I used the times 4 option, this would be a lot quicker, but we're not going to because I'm pretending to be level 1. So we can now access the trunk. The trunk starts filling up. And once that's done, we can get back in the air. There we are. So we can back up, spin around, and head back for the jet runway. Once again, we're going to need to use the runway, obviously, and we're going to want to use the ATC to make sure that we have access to the runway. So we will set our takeoff clearance now. As we're able to go straight onto it, we don't have to slow down. We can just set the clearance and get going. So we're now going to Zancudo. So let's get up in the air, get a bit of height away from the runway, and then we'll just quickly change the marker from there to Zancudo, which is this airport here. Oh, see, notice how we're already almost nose diving the floor again, because you have to be very careful with altitude in these planes. They go up and down sort of on their own. Like, I'm not adjusting the height anymore, and it's sort of staying at about 1,000. Obviously if I bring it down, it now stays at 0, although it's slightly climbing, and then it can just, the slightest touch will cause it to sort of flick up and down. So it's just something to keep in mind and be aware of. Zancudo has a jet runway as well, so as we're in a small plane we are going to line ourselves up for that runway. Now you can see this plane doesn't move very fast either. If we get a bit more altitude, get ourselves above 1,000 feet, we should get a bit more speed once we level off again. Although we won't get much more. So we're only doing, what, we're probably going to reach 100 by the look of it. 100 nautical miles an hour. That's not very fast for a plane. The bigger planes, it sort of depends on the plane itself, but you'll find that bigger planes do tend to go faster. Some of them obviously go a bit slower than others. Some of the big planes will go slower than other big planes. Some of the little planes will go slower than other little planes. It depends on the plane itself. As you can see, we're now coming into Zancudo. So we'll slam ourselves for landing on the jet runway. And we can come on down nice and quick. You see we're picking up speed a bit because we're diving. Now with small planes like this as well, while I'm landing I'll go over this. Small planes like this, they don't really get affected by the speed nerf when you go near to the ground. But if we were in a big plane, such as the post-op plane in my last video, you'll notice that the speed of it got nerfed quite heavily as we got close to the floor. It sort of dropped from 140 all the way down to 110 on its own. And that is that's sort of a safety thing, so you don't just nose plant. But it also makes landing a lot better for those sorts of planes. Now, we have arrived at Zancudo on its little cargo piloting area, and we can once again deliver the cargo. We'll do one at a time again. Let our inventory empty just as before, and then let the plane empty just as before, and that will be all there is to it. Cargo piloting is quite nice and simple now. You just have to keep an eye on the stock that's available and keep an eye on the place that you're being told to go to, because obviously there is no marker that specifically shows you where you're going with cargo, so you need to actually bother to remember and read which of the options you are taking. So like Chumash or Gordo or post-op, obviously for level 1 you'd have to go to post-op now. But that is all there is to it for this tutorial. Let's get this plane out of the way in case anybody else comes along and wants to do cargo. We'll just stick it over here, nice and out of the way. I want to thank you all for watching this tutorial. Hopefully this makes sense. On top of the old cargo pilot, I will be unlisting that one so that people don't get confused between which one is actually like the one that matters now. But thank you for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.